Men of Reddit, what is your biggest insecurity as a man? That my wife only stays with me because it is a life she is used to. I had a lot of abandonment issues as a kid and try to push that shit away. As soon as I recognize it, it does pop into my head from time to time. That I'm too quiet and people will see that as boring. I'm stuck career-wise. I don't know how to go about expanding my horizons beyond my current finance role. Being able to provide for my family long term. Wondering if I'm living up to being the kind and loving father my dad was. Being unsure if I'm giving my kids all the skills they need to survive in the world. On stressful periods or with new people. I've been married for over 20 years and I know my wife loves me, but I don't think she likes me anymore. Everything I do annoys her. That I'm not good enough. Long story, but in one sentence that's what came to my mind first. Is my only worth based on what I can provide for others? Telling people how I feel and being told to man up lol. Coming off as creepy or as a nice guy. Trying to be as good of man as my father and grandfather. Being single again in my mid-30s, wondering if I'll find another woman to love or if it's even worth the potential hurt and mental damage to get in another relationship. Always feeling like no matter what I do I struggle and should be further ahead in life than I am. Not know what my purpose in life is. My fiance makes more money than me and knows exactly what she wants to do with her life, career-wise. I do not know what I want to do because every job I have had I hate so much. Sadly, for a long time it was my ethnicity due to difficulties I faced while assimilating into a new culture. It took a very special person who loved me unconditionally help me get over this and feel confident in my own skin again. However, I know a lot of minority men who still struggle with this. It's weird being single for a long period of time. Probably 3/4 of the time I'm perfectly content and happy with where I'm at in my life, particularly in regards to my marital status. But when so many people around me express what appears to be legitimate concern, because it's been so long since they've met anyone I've dated, like I'm some lonely sap about to shoot himself on any given weekend, it starts to make me a bit concerned. At this point even my own kid is like, "Dad, when you gonna get laid?" in a slightly more respectable fashion. I'm also pretty sure it makes some people trust me less. There's this guy at work who makes it a point to tell me that gals who are, thus far, in the 16 to 20 year range are too young for me. As though because I'm single I must want to fuck literally any vagina that gets within 10 feet of me. I'm in my 30s, for the record. I know 16-year-olds are too young for me. So yeah, with new folks I avoid discussions about my current relationship status for as long as possible, and when I do share that I'm single I try to gloss over it with I'm sure the right one's just around the corner, or, when applicable, it's no big deal. I've got a date on Thursday, pretty sure this is the one. I don't know, it's a weird thing to be insecure about, but I guess in the end most insecurities are kinda weird in my experience. My skinny arms. Was doing something in front of a girl. I usually never take my thick jacket off, but I had to for this, and a girl describes my arms as tiny. Balding. That I should be more driven. That I'm boring. That everyone secretly doesn't like me and just tolerates me. That I don't want anything. My teeth. It's a bit shallow, but my own sexual desirability. I'm not attractive, was never outgoing or sociable, I smoke, and my general indifference to pretty much everything means my opinions are middling at best, or either they're on making decisions that I don't consider to be particularly urgent. That being said, I have somehow been in a relationship with all those traits for the last 10 years. However, despite that, I'm the only one who has shown any interest in our sex life. I've brought it up a few times, but nothing has changed, and it's gotten to the point that when they do initiate for a change, I feel it's more out of feeling bad than it is because they actually want to. Don't get me wrong, I'm eternally grateful that someone is at least willing to pretend to want to touch me, and I'm more than happy to be a source of stability for them because I love them, but it'd be nice to know what it feels like to be wanted every once in a while. Career is a big one. Got a degree in business management, and I'm close to being done with a master's in public administration. I have no idea what the best career path is going to be. I've got about 5 years of finance experience, and I'm going on a year of managerial, not within finance. Health is another one. Dealing with manuscript sucks. I don't feel like I'll ever be as athletic as I used to be prior to the diagnosis. My left leg struggles after a while. Can I make enough money to take care of my family? What if the HVAC craps out? Can I afford to replace it? 2 of my cars are over 230k miles. How much longer can they go? And what do I need to replace first? Do I have money for that? How can we do groceries and still outsim into savings? This shit legit keeps me up at night. I generally don't like my face, but I'm at least doing something about it. Saved up for a few years, and I'm getting some plastic surgery in a few months, taking finasteride to hold future hair loss, and will likely get a transplant to clean up my hairline within a few years. The fact that whenever I'm talking, I feel like no one wants to listen. And I'm holding up the conversation from wherever it's supposed to be. I just want to do quality work and leave the world a better place. I've been fighting imposter syndrome for a long time. I have pretty bad social anxiety and depression, which has been getting worse recently. I'm lonely and really want a relationship, but I'm scared of flirting, both due to fear of rejection and because I'm scared of making women uncomfortable. I don't want to be that guy, but I don't know how to flirt without the risk of being creepy, so I just don't. My height, I'm 5 feet 2, but also the fact that I'm really going bald fast for a 17 years old. Like damn, I don't even have facial hair yet and I still have the hairline of a dad. Interacting with women I don't know personally. That is an average looking person. My value as a person is determined by my income. I once did a little experiment on Tinder by including a picture of me doing a celebratory thumbs up next to the sold sign on the house I bought. Within a day I had like a dozen single mothers sending me lazy hay openers. Fear. My parents failed me and taught me nothing but to not be like them. So here I am with practically no skills and trying to develop basic life skills. It feels very overwhelming to see time go by, and it feels like you're playing catch up on the basics. Then worrying about devoting yourself to the wrong profession because it may not pay the bills, even if it's something you enjoy doing. Not being able to talk about my feelings or accepting too many responsibilities to the point that I can't handle them, but I still want to be helpful. I'm super awkward with small talk when meeting new people. Showing emotion, from what I know, people will always use it as leverage to ridicule you. Hair. The older I get, the more of it I have everywhere except for where I actually want it, where it's on a mission to get the fuck out to Dodge. As a non-alcohol drinking introvert, I find it hard to identify and meet people and women of my generation. Being scrawny. I wear a big jacket for a reason. Financial security. I have bad skin and a hard time gaining weight. Height. Existential dread, the mother of all miseries. My height. I'm literally 5 feet 2. My voice and my patchy beard. Perhaps I have too ingrained the image of the stereotype of a lumberjack, so yeah. I have a horrible sense of self-worth and only value myself based on the opinions of others. If I don't feel like I'm being helpful or useful for someone else, I implode. I'm always worried that I'm being a burden and that people only interact with me because they feel like they have to. Had one girlfriend for a couple months in high school and a handful of dates in college, and that's it. It doesn't bother me much, but I feel like there's something wrong with me